Okay, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Grind Culture Podcast. I am Ed.
And I am Colton.
And this is episode 6.
Episode 6, we made it.
We made it again to episode 6,
Yep.
and then next week we'll make it to episode 7.
Awesome.
Last week's episode, as we stated, we got new mics.
Yep.
We're getting new cameras.
Yeah, we got a new camera on my face now.
Yeah.
Should look really good.
It's looking good. Everything's going on the up and ups. I'm just getting so much feedback, not only from people that we know or that I knew was watching it, but even this weekend from people I ran into at a benefit I was at. They were like, "Hey, we saw the podcast. That's awesome. It's great. I didn't even know you worked with these guys. Like, these guys are awesome."
Yeah.
And so it felt good to hear that this past weekend. So. Do you have any feedback, or did you get any, like, say, "Hey, good job," or anything like that?
Yeah, my friends and family, like, I don't know what it was about this latest episode. Maybe it's because we launched on Saturday. We were excited about it, so we launched it a little early.
Yeah.
So maybe that was, like, why we got a little bit more traffic, but it just seemed like, like I had some friends, family, all texting me, like, "Hey, like, I didn't even know you started a podcast. Like, so cool to see, like, just a little bit of insight of, like, what you're doing." And and I even had a friend of mine text me who I supply coffee for their coffee shop for, and he was just like, he was super stoked and excited, and he was actually playing our podcast on their screen in their cafe today. So he was super excited. People were watching, and it's been fun. So
that is the coolest thing. Like, when you showed me that, I was like, dang, like, I know we haven't made it yet, but it just, those little things, the little things that count, you know, I was like, oh, that's awesome. And just like even hearing like the feedback that we get from different people is also really cool. So this weekend, I wanted to mention, I went to my friend's family's benefit, the Aaron Gunner Memorial Scholarship Foundation benefit that they hold in Carlsbad each year. And again, I want to say a big thank you to that family, if they do listen, for allowing us to be a sponsor and participate, and just giving us the platform to be there and just, like, share this. It's awesome. Like, we were talking about the foundations that we care for, or like what you're striving for. What does this coffee brand mean to you? And I got a little bit of a snippet of that, just being there, and just like people appreciating, like, "Oh, this is your coffee." This guy, it was funny. This guy won my coffee because it was like, it's a silent raffle as well. Oh, so cool. Some of my coffee was, like, in some of the baskets. And a guy that I know his sister. I grew up with her. First time I met him, though, and he was like, "Hey, I've won this coffee," and he was kind of like trying to sell me up on it, because I think he heard, like, Kaylani is my friend's name. He heard Kaylani talking about, "Oh yeah, that's my friend's business." So he came up to me and he was like, "Hey, you hear this coffee? It's so good." I was like, and I just played it dumb. I was like, "Oh, is it?" I was like, "How could I order some?" And he was like, "Well, there's a QR code in the back." And I scanned it. I was like, "Dang, this is awesome." I scrolled up. I was like, "Dang, that's a handsome guy right there." And he was like, "Is that you?" I was like, "Yeah, that's me.
It's my brand."
So it was just cool. It was a cool experience this weekend. And again, I want to thank the Gunner family. That was really like the crux of my weekend. Did you have a good weekend? How was your weekend?
Our weekend was great. Here in Southern California, it's getting hot. So I went up to Big Bay area and just went skiing. Hung out, got a last day of the season in before it closes. It closed yesterday, so no more skiing. Time for warm weather, time for beach season.
Yes.
Maybe you can take me surfing finally.
Yes, we'll have to. We've been talking about, like, vlogging, or just, like, kind of recording some of our weekend getaways or weekend whereabouts here and there. But yeah, we'll go surfing. We'll go to the beach, because I'm desperate. I'm in desperate need of going to get some, not only sun, some salt water in my body, some salt water up my nose, some waves, and I'm in desperate need of it. So
get a tan.
So you went skiing. You took the kiddos.
Yep, took my girls. My wife was on a work trip, so I took my 2 daughters up, and my family's up there, so they just got to hang out with family. And while I went skiing, selfishly,
you need some you time. We talked about that.
Yeah, that's right. And that definitely feeds my soul. So
that's good.
It was good. It was fun. Good weekend. And then let's see, yesterday just church, and then after church I went and bought this awesome camera.
The camera that is pointing at Colton now, this awesome camera. Like I said, we're just trying to ramp up our production here.
Yep.
So speaking of our production, today I wanted to we kind of talked about this last week with Cameron, and I kind of wanted to piggyback what we briefly discussed last episode to this episode, and that's what culture do we bring to here at TCR where we work at.
Yep.
And where did you get your managing style? Because we touched up on that, but I don't really know your background as far as being a manager goes. You might not have a background, but you just seem so fitted to be one. Right. So I wanted to ask you, what kind of manager style or just culture do you want to bring to TCR, that now that everybody knows, our viewers know that you run the roastery pretty much, the production and some of the business side of the roastery.
Yeah. Gosh, I'm trying to think like when it started. And I guess it just started young. You know, I started working at 14. I got a job, and you know, when you're that young, you kind of just work to work, and you don't really have much say in a lot of companies. You kind of are just there as helping hands, and you just do the best you can. And I just grew up as a hard worker, and I had a good working mentality. And I think that's where you have to start first, because I don't think you can be a good manager without that base. You know what I mean? Like sure, there are some companies that, you know, hire people based off their education, and things like that. And then they miss the side of, like, how much of the footwork have you put into other jobs? Where did you take other companies? You know, were you a big factor in that company and their growth, or were you just jumping job to job, you know, getting by and working your way up kind of in that way, just as you aged? I think and this will all tie into kind of just what makes me a good manager. I don't even like saying that, because, I mean, thank you, but I feel like I'm constantly, like every day, almost every week, like working on myself and trying to figure out like new ways to manage better. Yeah. So I think it comes from a place for hard work first. You have to have that. You have to have that base. You have to learn. So you have to work, and then you have to learn how to like honor people. So like when you work for people, there's such a high place of honor that you have to give to those people, even if they're a bad company, you know, and you hate working for them. You still have to honor them. It's their business, right? So you kind of have to suck it up and just be like, you know what? It's not my business, but I'm going to do the best that I can do here. And I mean, and that'll grow you. Yeah. If you just jump to job and you don't you're always going to find something wrong in the company or the person that you work for. Even the best person. Like there's always going to be something you dislike, because it's work. Nobody really likes to work. I mean, yes, we do love our jobs and stuff, but there is still that like, gotta wake up and work, gotta, you know, do the thing. So second, I think you really have to build years of honor to people, and then experience next. And then it's like everything ties in together. So once you kind of set that base, you learn honor, and you move on to manager roles, then it's time to start like implementing all that. Yeah.
So you kind of lead by example in a way. I think I've mentioned that. I'm just going to throw you some kudos here very quick. Yeah. You are a good manager, and I think you could see that. You could realize that you're a good manager when you have people committed to you, working hard for you, is staying past hours or going above and beyond, essentially for you. Yeah. Partly Brian too, because he is the owner of the business, along with Carrie. Yeah. But we see your face. So to us, you're the face of TCR, essentially. So people like DJ, people like me. DJ, again, we work with him, and we're going to have him on soon because he's another backbone of this company.
Yep.
People like me, I like to say me because I love showing up here. I like to put in work. I try to do what you asked me to do to the best of my ability. And other people that have been here for a long time now, Titus, Gavin, where we used to see a little bit of turnover. We don't see that much anymore. I could edit this. Okay, it's UPS.
Oh, we're good. We're good.
Yeah, we don't see much turnover anymore because you've established your work ethic or your way of showing I'm here and I'm here to do a job collectively. You put that onto you gravitated that energy onto DJ, onto me. Now I believe onto the rest of the team that again we will shortly introduce here as time goes on. So I think that's just a sign of being a good manager when people are working above and beyond for you and for the company.
Right.
So then let me just give one more example. It was even happened today, and it reminded me of like why I love to work here, because I don't wake up agonizing the thought of me coming to work. Right. I wake up and I go, I'm going to go work at TCR today. What does today bring? I can't wait to go. And that's the truth. But today it reminded me of something. You did something, very little thing. I don't know if you did it on purpose, but it reminded me of something that kind of took me back to when I first started. So I got in a little bit later, and you were on production. And if the audience doesn't know, you and I share a love for some reason of production, just because like, it's time consuming, not time consuming. You have to work at a good pace, right? And you have to work at a fast pace.
Just like Cameron talked about last episode, like you always got to be grinding. You always have to be working. Yeah,
exactly. So we work at a pace, but it's also so therapeutic in a way. Where like you kind of get into this mode, especially if you've been doing it for a long time. You know what you like. Your brain knows what your body has to do, and you don't really have to really be. You have to focus because we do have to do our due diligence of making sure that we send out right orders.
Right.
But if you know what you're doing, you know what you're looking for. Your body just kind of works its way through production.
It's great.
Yeah,
it's so great.
So you were doing that this morning, and I came in, and you go, I saw you, and you're like, all right. I said, all right, I'm ready to work. Where do you want me?
Yeah.
You go, this station, that station. We're doing this. And before you went back to your manager role, you showed me your stack, and you're like, 1 hour, baby, like 1 hour. And to me, I thought like, all right, what could I do better? Like, how could I beat that?
Yeah.
And you told me, this is what made me think of when I first started working here. You told me like, what you got to, like, the personality you had to have when you work here is you got to come to work, and you know the job has to be done. You got to work together, but you also have to, there's a little competition there, especially if you care about it, right? You told me that. And when you showed me your stack, I was like, all right, let's see, what can I do? What can I do? Like, what could I do, you know? So.
Yeah, and you felt it today because, like, I mean, gosh, we probably, just for anybody that doesn't know how much coffee we pack in a day, we did around 800 orders today. So, and that equals to around 600 pounds of coffee. So we did that within 7 hours today, maybe. Yeah. And that's with 3 people packing.
So that's what I wanted to let you know, is like, that's the energy you bring. That's the culture that you bring to TCR. So that does make you a good manager. And I know you're humble enough to know, like, not give yourself a pat on the back, but as somebody that's been here for now almost 2 years, you're a good manager. Trust me. Because I've had a lot of managers.
Well, thank you.
But what I also wanted to kind of let the audience know, I don't know if the audience entirely knows. You would assume they kind of have some idea if they're watching our podcast about coffee and about our lives. But I also wanted to give them like an insight of what we actually do here. What we do. What we do here, and kind of like the ins and out of what's the process of start to finish here at TCR.
Cool. Before I jump into that,
coffee.
Also. Let's do that. So everybody has been asking, even if like we're drinking coffee and what we are drinking. So yes, we are drinking coffee. We usually make an Americano right before this podcast. So right now we are drinking a washed Guatemala.
Yep.
Americano, and it's delicious.
Yes.
It's sweet. It's a little sour. It's fruity. A little chocolatey, nutty in there.
Nuts.
Yeah,
nutty.
It's good. And it sweetens up as it cools down. So
yeah, and we just recently, for anybody that has ordered from TCR before, we recently changed the way we do, very slightly, the way we do blonde. I don't know if we want to put that out to the public, but no different from the flavor profile that we used to have, or that we have.
Yeah, very
listed.
similar. It's actually better. I like it.
Me too.
It's so much sweeter.
Yeah.
It's more balanced, and it's just a very clean cup.
So it used to be a post blend. Now it's pre-blend roast.
Yeah, now we're roasting it together.
Yeah. Also, did you want to bring something else up?
Yeah, just on the last topic, I kind of want to hit on, so when I started here, I was just packing coffee, right? And Brian was my manager. He was my boss. And I think what I learned fast, not just my ability and how good I was getting at the job, but I wanted to like impress Brian, you know, I wanted to show him my ability. So I would work as hard as I could, no matter what. Like I would get the day done. There wasn't a day, even if I had to just like clock out and finish the day, like cleaning up or just organizing, that's what I would do, you know? So it was like, I had a love for this place and honor for Brian, and I just had that, like that work mentality. So, and then also it's like, you never want to see your manager making up the lost time that you have been working. You know, sorry, I kind of got that confused, but like, for example, Brian, so when I was working production, there was one time where I think we were going too slow on the day, and Brian actually stepped on the other side of things and started doing production with us. Like I remember he started packing samples with us, and it was a huge sample order. And I was like, oh man, I was like, he's probably not flustered because he's just a great guy. Like, and he's a lot like me. He'll just step in and get the work done. Yeah. Because he has a love for it, and he's just a hard worker as well. But me as the like production team member, I was like, this isn't right. He has too much to do to be helping us. Yeah. So either I'm lacking somewhere or someone's lacking somewhere. And so this isn't going to happen again. So it was like my goal to never let Brian step in and fill orders again. Yeah. So that like took my work mentality up to the next level. So that, I think I had to learn that first. And then now when people are kind of like working under me on production, I feel like, you know, a good worker when they feel the same when I walk into the room. Yeah. So it's like, I do production sometimes. Like if someone's going to be late for a reason, or if someone calls out sick or something, yes, I do have to step in. But if it's just your normal staff day and you see your manager doing a role that you know he's not supposed to do, you should know, like, oh dang, yeah, like we're slacking, right, for some reason, and we need to work. Yeah. You know, it shouldn't be like oh, he's in here, like, you know, doing that. It shouldn't be like a harsh thing. It's just like an inner thing, like, okay, I need to step it up. And that's kudos to you. Like you were saying, like you, DJ, Cameron, when he was here, a bunch of people that we have working for us now, they get it. Like they see it like that, you know, and everybody's kind of on the same page, and I love it, you know, and that's like the culture that I kind of have established here. You know, I kind of wanted to take what I was doing, and the people that come under me, I want them to kind of have the same work mentality towards that. So, yeah. There's two kinds of people, I think, that, like, just to piggyback off of that, there's two kinds of people that when that situation happens or something similar to that situation happens, you either, and this is, I'm speaking on my behalf, the way I feel when this happens, if it ever happened in the past, which I'm sure it did when I first started, if I see, because I noticed that right away. I noticed that if you were hopping on production, or if DJ or Cameron weren't on production and they decided to start doing production, I felt like we were going too slow. Right. And I think there's two types of people where you could get either one side of the spectrum or the other, as far as that situation happening. Mine again was,
I get a little, not annoyed, but like upset with myself that, dang it, this person had to come on production. I wasn't going fast enough, or the team wasn't going fast enough.
Yeah.
But then there's other people, and I've seen it, that they slow down because they see somebody else coming on production.
They take advantage of it.
They take advantage of it.
Yep.
Right. And that's not the type of people we want. I guess that's not the type of work ethic you bring to the table.
No.
So it's hard to accommodate that kind of work ethic.
Yeah.
Your work ethic is very, let's get this done fast, let's get it done efficiently, and let's get this done as a team.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to rely on you guys to do so.
Mm-hmm.
But when some of the other people that are like that,
they haven't lasted.
Like the latter, yeah, they don't last.
Right.
So again, that's just another sign of you being a good manager, the culture that you bring, and just the camaraderie around, like, just working as a team. That's what you bring to the table.
Yeah, I believe it's just, see by example.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and I want to be in a place where it's like, I'm the hardest worker here.
Yeah.
And not in a cocky way, not in like a I'm better than you type of way, but I want to be in a place where it's like people know I will outwork you. Like I want to say that I will outwork anybody in the building.
Yeah.
But in a way of like, I want to carry the team. I want to be that support. I will work whatever area you want me to work in. Mm-hmm. It's like, I want to establish that and manage in that way.
Yeah.
It's like if you have a lazy manager, or if you have, a manager that, it's like I used to work in a kitchen, and the chef was so lazy, and he just wouldn't do it. He wouldn't wash dishes. He just was like, thought he was better than everybody. He thought he just had to cook, and that was it, and that set up for failure for the whole team, for the whole kitchen, actually, because it was just bad.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want to be that. I want to be, yes, in charge. I want to be the best worker, but I also want to be one of the workers. I want to do my part, and I want people to be like, not feel bad if I'm working or feel like I'm trying to be better than them, but I want to be like, I want to be like that. Mm-hmm. Like, I want to pack coffee and I know it's just packing coffee, but it's like, there's just like you were saying, like a flow that you can get into where it's just so fun.
Yeah.
And it flows. And then at the end of the day, when you have, a stack like that big of orders that you pack, it's like,
yeah.
It's
just a good feeling. It's a good feeling for yourself, because you earned your paycheck.
Yeah.
And it sucks to, like, it is what it is. We work we live in a world where everybody has to make money, and we're in an inflation year, and so money is like the crux of people working right now, just because everybody needs to make it.
Right.
But at least you feel like you've earned it. Like, you not only have you earned the money, but you earned, like, your right to be here as an employee, to be here as a team member, to be working under you. Yeah. You almost kind of feel that levity in, I belong here because I'm doing my part.
Yeah. There's a good middle ground, there, where it's like you could get ahead of yourself and be like, I'm too good for this job.
Yeah, that's true.
There's that side of things too, which we won't get into, but like, you can be like, I'm way too good for this job. And then you get moody, and then you actually stop working less, because you're like, I could do this in 2 hours, but exactly. I'm going to extend it triple.
Yeah.
And just live out my day, like work through my day like that. And that's just a bad mental place to go. It's like, just push yourself.
Yeah.
Be the best you can be. If we finish orders early for the day, cool. Like, that's a success. That leaves room for growth. If you just put a cap on the day of like, oh, we have a 700 day, let's take all day to do it. It's like, I'd rather come into the day, be like, let's see how fast we can do that 700 day accurately, and then grow this company. That's how you grow, right? Otherwise you just stay stagnant.
Yeah, that's how, that lets sales, who is Brian right now, know that we could accommodate a heavy day when we finish early on days that we don't have much orders. We're in downtime right now,
right?
But that this prepares us how fast we could get each day done. It prepares us for when we do start again getting in orders, and we go into busy season, and we get 1,000 or 1,200,000 day or 1,200,000 days, right?
Yeah,
1,200 days, I guess.
12,000. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
One day.
One day, 2 facilities, 3 facilities.
That's right.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that prepares us. So I agree. You work to the best of your ability every day, no matter the amount of orders that we have going through. Always work your hardest. And a good thing about you too is that you always find something for us to do. There's no shortage of things that are like tasks that we have to do here at TCR, whether it's deep cleaning or painting like we did, or like kind of did this past week, or just fulfillment for the next day, or just organizing. There's always something to do here.
And I think that stems from being here, from when this place was so small. And I think now I know of things to do because I'm the only one that kind of sees the full spectrum of it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like as a new person coming in, they just see the building as it is. They're like, oh, it's always been like this. And then it's like they don't really see the things that we have already done here. Yeah. Like this used to be a 1-unit building. It was crammed full of stuff. It was dirt. I mean, I wouldn't say it was dirty, but it was unorganized, you know, and things didn't flow as well, and the grinders weren't as good and all that stuff. But now it's like we have built up everything. Now we're into 3 units. Now we have multiple roasters. Now we have, 5 stations and a huge sample maker and all that. So it's like I see not only what there is to do in the day, but what there is to do when we run out. And we have goals for the year even, so it's like, how do we get there? Yeah. And it's just, keeping things clean, keeping things flowing. And that's just a place that we have to be in. Otherwise, you kind of just stay stagnant and die out.
Yeah. So another thing I wanted to kind of bring up is the other side of your managing style. We know that you're a hard worker, you kind of show off monkey see, monkey do type of vibe when it comes to work ethic in general. But what I think is more important is the way you accommodate your employees. And I tell Lindsay this all the time. You guys have given me so much opportunity here already, and I haven't even been here 2 years. And that's why I work hard for you guys. That's why I try to do my best that I can, as corny as that sounds. Like I come in here and I try to do 100% for the amount of time that I'm here, right?
Yeah.
And so you are very good at accommodating your employees as far as their lives outside of work, which is so important because people have lives and they have emergencies and they have things to do outside of work. And like, again, we live in a society where we kind of have to grind it out throughout the week. Yeah. We get 2 days out of the week to kind of just relax and be with our families. Yep. But sometimes that's unrealistic because things happen throughout the week too, not just on the weekends. Yeah. We get sick, or there's car accidents, or there's emergencies with our kids, or anything, right? Emergencies with ourselves. Yeah. You're very good about accommodating our employees or people that work for you to no, families first, go take care of you. Yeah. We'll survive here. We got the team to do it. When you come back, just come back ready to work. Yeah. So I think that's more important than just like you showing how to work. It's what you allow outside of work, and good. How do you accommodate your employees outside of work? Yeah, that is, I already kind of had that working here, just a heart for people, seeing their lives outside of work, seeing their families, kind of just getting involved. Like I said last episode, it was like, if we're going to be friends, I'm going to get involved in your life. Yeah. And if we're not going to get involved in each other's life, then it's just going to be surface level. Like, yeah, we'll be friends at work and so on, have a good weekend type of thing. And it's just surface level. And that's okay too. Not everybody connects. And I love everybody that I've ever worked with. And, there's bonds there. But I think I already had that coming in just as a heart for people. But now as a manager, and like you're saying, it's something that I learned from Brian. Yeah. Yeah. When I started working here, it was like, I did have a lot of life going on. I just had my first kid. So there's that, you need time for that. You
you have financial stuff going on, you have other jobs, you have weddings you need to go to, you have friends events, you have stuff like that. And I would always stress out because I was like running the production team here, you know, and when it came to days off, I would always just like stress out, you know. It's like if I had anything going on, I was like, no, I'm like, unless it's an emergency, I'm not taking a day off. But Brian on the forefront of things was just like, he made it on a point, and he does this for his own family as well. Like, what's happening not at work, your family, your friends, is so much more important than what's happening in this building. I mean, yes, this is important. Yes, like this is a business and we need to run it and we need to run it well. But when it comes to taking the time for your family, that's what really matters. Yeah. It's like, what are you going home to? You know, if it's not healthy, take some time to get yourself and your family and your friends and all those things healthy. You know, do what you got to do. Yeah. And that's just something that was so huge for Brian. For me, it's like anytime I had something going on, he was just so gracious about it and was just like, take the time. Yeah. Don't worry about this place. Always. That's always what he said. Yeah. There wasn't like any like, oh, well, he didn't like ever make me feel bad about things. So he really led by example in that. And I was like, gosh, man, when I own my own company or if I manage, you know, it's like whatever, it's like, I want to be like that. Yeah. So really we were talking about monkey see, monkey do. It's like, I had the same thing from Brian. So I guess if that answers your question.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I actually have that same mentality, and something that I struggle with at home myself is I hate asking for time off or even coming in late. Like Lindsay and I, if call it what it is, we get in arguments because of it. Because I tell Lindsay, like, look, I really don't want to call Colton or ask for the day off. I don't want to go in late. Yeah. I want to be there. I got to work. And she goes, well, they understand. They understand that you have a family. I was like, I know that, and I do know that. They told me that.
Husband and wife thing.
But I was like, I told Lindsay, like, but I hate calling out. I hate being sick. I don't want to let these guys down. Just again for the opportunities that you guys give me, and like the accommodations that you guys given me throughout the years. So yeah, Lindsay could attest to that, and she listens to our podcast and she'd probably scream. She'll probably just look at me with a glaring,
really?
Like, why?
That's awesome.
You're talking about this right now? Yeah. But it's true. And
well, we're men. We're problem solvers, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And I won't just say that for men, but usually the man is the one that's like, there's a problem, I need to solve it. Or if there's something, I need to be there, or we need to be there on time. Or you know, if it's something that's going to make you feel uncomfortable, then we don't like it. You know, could be pride, you know, whatever it may look like. But
to me, it's just, I just want to be here and work for you guys. I love being here. But on the opposite spectrum of that, and don't take this the wrong way. I love when you call out, because I know how hard you work. I know how much sweat and just time and effort you put into this company. When you call out or you're with your family, you take a day off, I love it, because I know like, oh yeah, good for him. He's taking a day off. Yeah. Whereas when I do that myself, I don't like it. And I think you're the same way.
Yeah. Oh, big time. I'm not for days off. I really am not, you know, unless I have to be. But you know, when I do take a day off, I was like, that was good. It was good for my soul.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's always nice to spend time with your family, your daughters, because they see you so little, and the time that they have from when they're born to school. Yeah. It's still not enough time with them. No. And when they go to school, forget about it. Like they start making friends, or there's other parental influences involved, like their teachers or the principals or nannies or grandparents. It's hard to get left behind into that shuffle. Yeah. I don't know how we got into this, but like that's another opposite thing of like, yeah, you want to work hard, you want to be there and work, and you hate to call out of work, but also like for anybody listening out there, you do need, again, to talk about this, you need time for yourself. You need time to be with your family. Like I said, 2 days is not enough out of the week in my opinion, but you got to, that's what vacation's for, that's what time off is for, you know, like take some time. But you and I, we're the same. Like we like to work for our families. It's a balance. It's a tough balance to do when we want to be here and work, because we love working, we love the camaraderie, we
Yeah.
love the teamwork, but again, we also love our family. So
yeah, and it's like, and yeah, we do get 2 days, but you also, you know, you get to go home after work, and if you feel good about work, and you know, you got a family waiting for you, you gotta work just as hard when you go home.
Yeah.
Especially me and you being girl dads, it's like they just see us as a playground, you know, and they just want to, as soon as we walk in the door, no matter how tired we just have to like let that all go and be like, all right, let's play. And I struggle with that all the time. I struggle with that probably every day. You know, it's like driving home from work, I'm tired and all that. I'm like, hey, I got a lot to do. You know, my girls are gonna want to play with me. I'm gonna have to get dinner prepared, or I'm gonna have to do some stuff to get ready for the next work day. So it's kind of like hard to just tune out of everything and just be there for them. And then also just like get off your stinking phone and, you know, play with your kids. You know, and I'll attest, like I was a scroller, you know, it's like want to go home, you just want to veg out. But, you know, beginning of this year, I deleted all my social medias, and, you know, it's like, it's just wasting time, you know.
I still got to
and
get
like
to
you were
that
saying,
point.
I just got to, like when I want to go home, I want to disconnect. I want to be with my daughters and my wife, obviously. But, you know, when I go home, my wife's usually needs to get some work done, and, you know, I'm taking care of the girls and stuff. So it's all a balance. It's all a balance.
That's all. That's the name of the game in this world, is balancing your life and balancing it well. And I still need to do that, is get off my phone. And I spend too much time on my phone. I know it. And I know a lot of people struggle with that too. It's just like the world we live in.
Yep.
But it's healthy to get off your phone and be in the present. And I think that's just, it's normalized to be on your phone, but I think it's a known idea that you can't be on your phone that much. You got to be present, especially when you have a family.
Yeah.
But going back to what we originally were talking about.
Yes.
Let's should we give a brief kind of explanation of what we actually do here at TCR, just so people have an idea of like what's behind us, or what's in that room, what's in that room.
Yeah. So I'll give a brief overview of what this place is, what we do, and then I won't explain your role. I'll just kind of give what TCR kind of does, the majority. So we say TCR, and that's Temecula Coffee Roasters, where we work. We are a commercial size roastery. We roast for almost 4,000 companies right now. Behind us, we have our 2 roasters. We have a 15 kilogram, we have a 10 kilogram. And let's see, so I'll just go, we order coffee. Yep. We roast coffee, and we pack coffee.
Yes.
And all specialty grade.
Yep.
Delicious coffee. And that is all coffees that Brian has mastered, and made perfect. Let's see. And then, so my role is I am the manager. So I'll do emails, customer support. I'll do all the scheduling. I'll do inventory. I'll do some ordering. I do the hiring. I do the firing. Just kidding. I haven't had to fire anybody.
You sure?
Really? And I don't think I'll have to. No, I haven't had to.
I guess I've heard it just left. Huh?
And I think that's just the test of how great this place is and the culture that we have.
Yeah, I never thought about that. Actually.
Never had to do it.
You're right.
So it's been good. Yeah, let's see. I do all the scheduling. I little more hands-off roasting now, but I was on roasting for a very long time. And I was doing everything I just said while roasting. And then I would also do production at the same time. So when I have to, I just won't even talk about I have to now, but we do. So I'm roasting manager, and then we have our production team. Our production team, they fulfill all the orders. We have over 40 coffees. We have about 6 teas. We make K-cups. We make samples. And that's like the basics of it. Yeah. That's what we do. And it's all roast to order coffee too. So I print out the orders for the next day. I make our roast list, and then we roast it, we pack it, and we ship it, and on to the next day. Yeah. And then other than my role, other than our production team role, we mentioned DJ earlier. DJ, he heads up the front print room. He does a lot of customer service as well, but he puts all the orders together. He does all the labeling, helps out with design work. And then he also, like I do, he does every job when he needs to. And he's great at it.
I will say this loud and with bass. He is probably the fastest production person. Other than you,
Yeah.
dude is fast.
Yeah, he's quick.
He's
quick.
He's a freak.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I say that with love. DJ knows that. But
well, and he's the same mentality as us. It's like he feels good about it.
Dude is fast.
And that's why he's so good at it, because he feels good about it. And he knows like how great it is, you know, how easy it is, how great it is, how compared to everything else that we do, how easy it is. So it's like when any of us, me, you, DJ, get to hop on production, it's like, let's go, man.
Let's go, baby.
Yeah. So, I mean, between the three of us, we could, I don't know. I don't even want to say it, but I think we could do 1,000 a day.
I would love to try that out one day.
If someone was roasting for us, we could easily pack 1,000 a day.
Yeah.
In 8 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One day we'll have to try it.
We'll see it.
Mm-hmm.
Brian.
But yeah.
But let's see. And then there's really just your role. So let's tell everybody what you do.
My role. So I've heard you say this before, so I'm just going to kind of translate my role from what that came out of your mouth. And I'm kind of a jack of all trades. And not everything I do. Here, let me rephrase that. Not everything that needs to be done at TCR can be done by me, because there's a lot of things that I don't do. But I'm a Swiss Army knife in production and media, I think. Meaning so I started out, when I was working here, I started out like everybody starts out, and that's in production. Again, I loved production. Loved everything about it, just the tranquility of it when you get it down, the easiness of it, the fulfillment, not only like physically fulfilling, but like the work fulfillment that you get, and like, oh yeah, I put in a good day's work. Right. And I was doing that throughout last year's peak season, which is around the holidays, Halloween, Christmas, Thanksgiving, such and such. That's when I started, was what are we now, 2024?
You started 2022.
Yeah, 22, going into 23. And then shortly after production, or the busy season was done, you guys allowed me to do the front, what DJ was doing. And though I loved it at first, because like it was a nice change of pace from production to kind of just like you're in a room labeling, printing. It was very stressful, and I thought it wasn't going to be, because you have to you have to keep up with production. And again, DJ's the best at it, because that's what he does, and he's really fast.
Amazing at it.
Nobody could do it like him.
Nobody can. No.
And so he showed me, luckily, how to do it. He trained me, as he does everybody else, because if you're going to get trained by anybody at the front, it's going to be by DJ.
It's going to be DJ.
And he trained me, and I learned that really well, I think, relatively well. I could do it. I'm confident in myself doing it, and I could keep up with production. And then you guys allowed me to roast, which I was really nervous about, but I was also the most excited about, because roasting, when you first see it and you're not around it, it looks very intimidating.
It's very intimidating.
And our current roaster even said that, Gavin. When I first met him, I asked him, "What do you want to do?" He's like, "I want to roast, but it looks intimidating." And I go, "No, it's not. It is in a way where like you're dealing with a machine and hot flames and heavy beans and
it's moving fast.
It's moving fast.
A lot can go wrong. You could start a fire. You can burn down the building if you're not smart.
You're working with fire.
Right.
So, but once once you're confident in yourself, you've done it a few times, you know that like, okay, if I have control, if I have my full focus, tunnel vision in roasting, I can do this. You could really gain confidence in yourself the more that you do it.
Yeah. And you love roasting, just like me.
It's my favorite thing to do, I think. Even, and I'll get to what I do the majority of the time now, even more than media, sometimes I just like roasting, picking up bags, putting the bags in, or just like
moving it
around, and just putting it out for production, our roasted beans for fulfillment. There's something about it, I don't know what it is. It's just, roasting is just, what do you think it is?
It's just it's just like a form of therapy, just like production. But it's production, but it's a little bit more like fast paced. And you have to be organized, and there's a lot of heavy lifting, and you know, a lot could go wrong, but once you dial it in and you kind of have your routine, it's just like the next level of production.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the heavier lifting of production pretty much.
And it's kind of a one-man show, and it's really, we're not anything without coffee.
No.
And you're the one producing it
right.
for us to ship it out.
Yeah.
And you're bringing it in. So I think that's the reason why is like, it really is the backbone of our company is the roasting part.
Oh, big time.
Yeah, because
and thanks to Brian, because he profiles all our coffees. He dials it in from our sample roaster to our big roasters, and you know, all we really have to do is watch like airflow, temperature control, and make sure we drop it at the right time. You know? So it's like it's pretty easy. I wouldn't say easy. I could say it's easy. It gets easy.
It gets easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
and it just gets fun.
When I started roasting, I was nervous, but I started doing it more, and I got confident in myself, and I loved it.
Just to jump in real quick, I actually knew you didn't like the front when you started working because I saw you do so well in production, and you were just like me.
Yeah.
You love production. You went to the front, and you were kind of like felt like you were in a little box, and you're like, oh, this isn't my skill set. You did well at it, and you can do it right now.
Yeah.
But a lot like me, I was like, no, I want to be out there. I want to be moving. I want to be like lifting stuff. I want to you know, push myself and, you know, be sweating if I can.
Right.
So I saw that. So I was like, I had to go in the roaster.
I love you for that because you're right. I loved it. I love roasting way more than the front. Front is the least favorite thing I like to do here. Yeah. Roasting the most favorite. But other than roasting, I also do media. And I think my official role is business development, though it's just part of production. So it's business development / production. Yeah. So I have been lucky enough to work off the coattail of Cameron, because Cameron was doing media or the beginning of media before he departed to Abode.
Yes, he launched that whole side of things, which was cool.
with you and Brian, and the idea was there and it was excellent. But unfortunately, he pursued other things, and that's when you guys had asked me to step in and kind of accommodate that role. Yeah. And again, I was nervous because I never did media before. I've done like YouTube channels, but nothing like ever to the degree of trying to run marketing or anything like that for a company, big or small. Yeah. So when I said yes, I was reluctantly saying yes, because in my head, again, like I didn't know if I could do it. I didn't want to be the one for our partners to say, we paid for a service and it's not good enough, right? Right. But I put on my big boy pants. I just took it, as I usually do with some things, with a lot of things in my life, and I just went for it. And I thoroughly enjoy it because the feedback I get from some of our partners and customers about the media set that I do for them is very positive. And when you get positive feedback, it just makes you want to hone your skills more, practice it more. So I started doing media. I take photos and like marketing photos and videos for like the production side of people's companies. Yeah.
You kind of give them an insight and ideas and new ways that they can kind of market their company. And not only market their company, but just like a fresh new look, you know? So like, let me give them their bag, you know, with fresh roasted beans or just something like that. So it's really a cool thing that we've implemented, and you do great. Like, oh my gosh, if I can boast about you, I don't even know what you were worried about, because you've exceeded everything that me, and I know I can say for Brian, ever thought it would be. And you're still only in the beginning stages, which is so cool. And now, not only that, but you're on to other things as well, which is very exciting. Yeah. Okay, cool.
So other than the media and the marketing that I do for our partners, I am now trying to run a whole marketing / media / designing portion of our business for our partners, whether it's doing custom photos or help with their website or assistance with establishing their site or their business. We have that coming up, and it's all in the works. And so I'm trying to hone in the expectancy of all that with you and with Brian. And it's very exciting stuff because as like that's you cool. And as Cameron said, we're trying to go to the moon.
To the moon.
I want to be my idea of this place, now that I've kind of have a good established role in TCR, I want to, again, and this is kudos to you and Brian, work with you and work with Brian and just take this place as far as we can go.
Yeah.
And also making sure that our customers and our clients and our partners are satisfied with the work that we do here.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's awesome. We are becoming a very well-rounded establishment. We're not just a coffee roaster anymore. We just allow people to pretty much start a brand from nothing.
Yeah.
And then we're able to implement everything you'd kind of come in contact with your building your brand or marketing or whatever. So it's really cool. Just all the new things that we're implementing and the team that we have and just the facility itself and all the equipment that we're able to get. And yeah, so for TCR, that's pretty much, I mean, it's simple, but it's complicated and there's so much background work that goes into it. And for my role, your role, there's probably 100 things that we don't mention that we even do because there's just so much. But it's a great place, and we're definitely developing into just a great company. So
yeah, I
mean, it was great, but now we're putting all the finishing touches on it, and then from there, once we master it, we're just going to keep expanding, which is cool.
Yeah, I'm very excited about everything that's going on here. I never thought, like, coming into TCR or applying for TCR, never would I thought that I'm doing what I'm doing now, and I love every minute of it.
Yeah, I remember after I interviewed you, I actually remember going home that day, and I told my wife, I was like, "Oh, there's this guy Ed. I can, if I'm being honest, I said, I think he's too good for the job.
No,
so I don't think he's gonna take it."
What?
Yeah,
I didn't feel that way at all.
I thought you were too experienced, like too professional. Like I thought you might see this place as like too easy.
Really?
Yeah, too small. But when you did accept, I was like, heck yeah.
Oh, dude, that makes me feel good.
No,
because
I honestly said that. I was like, I think he's probably too good for this place.
No, this is exactly what I was looking for. And this place is not too easy. It's not too good. I mean, like you said, we've had people come and go, and people have struggled here. People have thrived here.
Yeah.
So this place is not easy by any means. You really have to have, like, again, a good workmanship. You get to have the effort.
Yeah.
Some of the skill on even like you have to have some skill to do this job. It's not the easiest. It is easy, but it's not the easiest. But I worked in office and I traveled and everything. I wanted and there's jobs that I had where I just felt like I was another person and I wasn't cared about, or just another number in the company.
Yeah.
And so when I found this place, I didn't feel like that at all. So I was happy to work here.
And the sky really is the limit.
Yeah.
When it comes to, I mean, yeah, you can say how much money we make, how big the facility is going to get, how big our team's going to get, maybe new experiences that we're going to get to do through this company, people we get to work with. It's like, it just matters how hard we work, how well we do it, and what comes along. And it's really exciting.
Yeah. So with that, I wanted to thank everybody again for tuning in to another episode of Grind Culture Podcast. Yeah. Kind of muffed that up, but that's okay.
Yeah, we are grateful for you guys. We're only on episode 6, but I feel like we have done so much already, and we've built such a really cool community around it. And thank you. So
yeah, this is our first episode with you and I, with the new gear and the new tech. So it really feels like we're on the up and ups, and I'm so appreciative of that, and everybody that listens and subscribes and comments.
Yeah, and please comment more. Like, honestly, if you have any questions about our workplace, what we do, coffee related, uncoffee related, life related, whatever you want to comment, like we'll definitely answer your questions. We'd love to. I mean, that just kind of makes us feel more like a community when we get to answer questions and be a part of your life. So
definitely. Until next time, y'all. Peace.
Peace.